Reads as follows: discussion with possible action to establish a task force to create a direct working partnership with Eagle Ford Shale representative to enhance business opportunities in our community. The reason that we brought this about was, as you know, there is a booming bonanza, and I think it's important that as jobs are on the downside, we want to make sure that we are competitive, because it is not the federal government that's creating the jobs. It is municipalities and the local business people. And with that having said that, we know for a fact that other cities, such as San Antonio, has been shaking the bushes and trying to take that business that really rightly belongs here in our community. So we have to be Johnny on the spot, no pun intended, but to make sure that we are competitive, because one of my main concerns, and I think it's in concerns of everybody on the downside of the job market, that we have to be competitive. Now, as I said, you know, we have to make sure that we establish good lines of communications with this industry. There's a lot of jobs that are being created, and I certainly understand the concerns of the individuals that just spoke. We have to make sure that when we deal with this, it's a fair and balanced. When you get into the debates, you have to make sure that we're fair and impartial. Everybody's at the same phase. And what I'm trying to do, and when we, should the council agree for us to have a task force, we will make sure that this task force is diversified and created with prudence, created to make sure that we are competitive. We have to remain competitive. You know, right now we're enjoying a relatively low unemployment rate, better than any other city along the border. But at the same time, when you have industry that it's in our neighborhood, we have to make sure that we tap with that industry to make sure that we have an opportunity to gain those jobs. But it's at the same time, and I understand your concerns. I understand your concerns. But I also want to make sure that we are prudent. I want to make sure that we don't send these people out and go do business somewhere else. I have a concern about that. And you've heard me say it so many times that I want to make sure that, and this council I would think that they would agree, that we want to be business friendly. But I think they also have a responsibility to be responsible business people. I think we understand that. We understand the concerns of environmentalists. We understand the possible threats to our environment. I understand that. But with this topic that I have, and this agenda item that I brought forth, is I want to make sure that the folks at Eagle Ford Shale understand that we want to do business. We want to do business the right way. We want to make sure that the city doesn't lag behind. It doesn't get on the train after the, before the caboose leaves. We want to make darn sure that we have an opportunity. There's a lot of cities across South Texas that are benefiting. But when you have a place like San Antonio that thinking that they're going to eat our lunch, well, they've got something else coming, because we are competitive. And you're going to hear some news tomorrow, some big news tomorrow of what we're doing. What we want to make sure is that the city continues to prosper. That's where I'm coming from. That's where my commitment. And I will do everything I can to make sure that we get jobs here. People want to work. People in Laredo are ready to work. We have to give them that opportunity. And if we're not competitive, we're not going to get those jobs. And again, I know that the work that you're doing, I know you work very hard, and I look forward to seeing you, depending on my schedule, but I will make sure that I go to your event. I will be there, because I also have to be educated. We're also going to be in Beeville to make sure that we learn. But we also make sure, let me assure you that we're also going to be stern and make sure that people obey our laws in our city. Okay? We'll make sure. But again, I want to say that we want to be fair and balanced. The same thing, you have my commitment when we have this task force, that we have a very diversified and people that are going to want to work on the task force, not to be on the task force just because they want to have it on their resume. I want people on this task force that are going to get the job done. And with that said, I'm going to yield to my colleague for some comments. But you know, we're on the same page. We're on the same page. But I've got to tell you that I'm totally, completely committed to bringing jobs to Laredo. We've said that, Mr. City Manager. We've traveled abroad, but we want to put Laredoans back to work so they can support their families and have a good quality of life. That's my responsibility, and that's our responsibility here at City Council.
Mayor, thank you very much.